G'day, I'm Max. I'm the editor of Caravan World magazine. This is Phillip Lord. He's our chief tow tester at the magazine. And here we are, we're in the Blue Mountains and we're testing a LandCruiser 200 Series Sahara up against the new Nissan Patrol V8 5.6 litre model. We're going to find out which one makes the better tow vehicle, but there's only one way that's going to settle this, and that's a week of tow testing out in the bush. Which one's going to come up trumps? Let's find out.
So what we have here is probably the most heavy-duty four-wheel drive touring wagons you can buy in Australia at the moment. We've got the LandCruiser 200 Sahara, which is $120,000 top-of-the-range 4.5 litre turbo diesel. Against that, we've got the new Y62 Nissan Patrol, in this case a TI spec, mid-range, with a 5.6 litre V8 petrol engine. The LandCruiser's 4.5 litre twin-turbo diesel develops 195 kilowatts and 650 newton metres of torque. Now against this, the 5.6 litre V8 Patrol has 298 kilowatts and 560 newton metres.
In the Patrol, there's lots of gears and gizmos and gadgets to work your way around, and that's not a criticism, it's more of an observation. Folks, the point is, you seem to get a lot of four-wheel drive touring wagon for your money. It's got plenty of poke, this big V8 5.6 litre engine. It can get a little bit wobbly with 3 tonnes of van behind. And look, let's not forget that the engine's got a lot of work cut out for it. It's pulling, 2,700 kilos worth of truck as well as 3 tonnes worth of van. And it's doing the job quite well. Does it do it as well as the Sahara? Look, I like the Toyota, and I think it's probably just shoulders the load a little bit more confidently than the Patrol.
The LandCruiser offers a nice lush ride. It's built for comfort, not speed. Having said that, the 4.5 litre turbo diesel engine gives a really strong punch of performance, nice low down torque. Seating position is really comfortable. In this, the Sahara, you get all the luxuries. It feels like it's really nicely put together. But one thing you notice about the LandCruiser is, look, it's a heavy vehicle. Its ride quality is good, but its handling isn't, well, it's not the sharpest tool in the shed. One of the questions people ask about petrol V8s, especially when towing, is fuel consumption. What's it like? Well, the good news is the Patrol on a light, easy, solo cruise on the freeway, that is unladen, just the driver in it, you're sitting on 100 all day on the flats, you'll get about 13 or 14 litres per 100, which is not bad for a big V8 weighing this much and with a big bluff front end. However, it all gets a very different scenario when you're towing 3 tonnes as we were on this test. We were averaging more than 30 litres per 100 kilometres while towing the Caravan. That is very, very thirsty. You do have a 140 litre tank, so there's a bit of range there. By comparison, the LandCruiser 200 Series Turbo Diesel V8, that does about 12 litres per 100 on an easy cruise. Sometimes a little bit lower, but you can expect an average of around that. While towing a 3-tonne Caravan on this test, we've been nudging 20 litres per 100. And I think that is really a worst case scenario with the LandCruiser. And it does have a 138 litre tank.
So the biggest positive about the LandCruiser is its tremendous amount of torque. The Patrol might have more power, but this has just got huge amounts of bottom end grunt, which makes it fantastic when you're pulling 3 or 3.5 tonne worth of Caravan.
Towing with the Patrol, it's a real marked contrast to driving it without a Caravan behind. And the Patrol really does feel it. It certainly has a bit of pitch and a bit of sway. And also the engine, as powerful as it is, it really has to reach into the rev range to keep it on the boil.
So just coming up that rocky incline there, Phil, I noticed there was a lot of scraping coming from underneath. A few moments there where I thought we were going to get hung up with the LandCruiser, but maybe it was just the side steps.
Yeah, look, I can see there's you just kissed the side step here on one section, but that's fairly normal. I mean, this thing is really good off-road, and I've noticed though the Patrol didn't. Perhaps I took a slightly different path heading up the incline, but it was absolutely fine. Combination of its diff lock and reasonably good clearance and wheel travel, it did really well.
Now, is the clearance, any greater on the Patrol than on the LandCruiser?
They're very similar. It's a matter of what your what blind you pick, basically.
Okay, Phil, so a good few days in the Blue Mountains, some smooth bitumen, some secondary roads and some fairly corrugated tracks. Cruiser or Patrol, what do you think?
Max, I'd have to say it's the Cruiser. It's still the king of tow vehicles, really.
And reluctantly, I'd probably have to agree with you, and that really comes down to the fact that fuel economy aside, which I guess we'll get to, but going up the steep hills with the Patrol with 3 odd tonne loaded behind, it really had to dig deep to find the courage to get up there. And if you could get above 80 on one of those steep inclines, you were doing really, really well. Whereas with the 4.5 litre turbo diesel Cruiser, it just shouldered the load that much more confidently.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one thing I noticed about the Patrol, and I guess this is a diesel thing as well, diesel versus petrol, it was a whole lot more relaxed when it was towing. It didn't have to kick down all the time to get into the power band as the Patrol did.
So while I agree that the Cruiser has got to be the winner of this comparison from a towing perspective, the Patrol really nails it as just a luxury four-wheel drive touring wagon. The engine's got so much poke.
Absolutely, and as a touring vehicle, it does it so easy. As an off-road four-wheel drive, it also does it easy, as good, if not slightly better, than the LandCruiser.
So there you have it, folks. The Patrol, if you're not towing, but if you are towing, go the Cruiser. I reckon you'll be a little bit happier. It's going to cost you a little bit more money potentially, depending on which spec you go for, I guess, Phil.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's probably going to just get you around the country just that little bit more confidently and with a little less fuss.